Introduction. In the sprawling metropolis of Metropolis, where the relentless pace of life met the unforgiving challenges of reality, there lived a man named Henry Mitchell. His story was not one of grandeur or glory, but rather a poignant tale of the struggles and sacrifices that form the backbone of countless lives, largely unsung and unnoticed. Henry was a man who, like so many others in his city, toiled day in and day out, navigating the treacherous currents of urban existence. He was a construction laborer, one of the countless nameless faces that labored behind the scenes, erecting the towering structures that defined the city's skyline. Yet, for Henry, the concrete and steel were more than mere building materials, they were the means to an end, the vehicle through which he pursued the simple yet profound dream of providing a better life for his family. In the backdrop of this bustling city, Henry was the quintessential embodiment of the working-class hero. With his worn-out boots and sweat-stained overalls, he trudged to the construction site each day, his back bent under the weight of his responsibilities. For Henry was not just a laborer but a husband to Maria and a father to a young girl named Emily, and their well-being was the lodestar of his existence. The cost of living in Metropolis was a relentless adversary, a relentless creature that consumed every penny that came into their household. With his modest earnings, Henry and Maria navigated a precarious financial tightrope, ever mindful of their monthly expenses and striving to ensure that their daughter's future education would not be compromised. Their vocabulary was filled with daily life English, yet it was a language of careful budgeting, penny pinching, and dreams of financial stability that often seemed just out of reach. Life trudged on, and in the midst of the city's cacophony, the Mitchells found themselves in a fragile equilibrium. But life, as it often does, had a different plan. In the chapters that follow, we will delve into the story of the Mitchells, a family for whom tragedy was not a distant concept, but an all-too-real companion. Theirs is a story that encompasses the emotional spectrum, from the dreams and aspirations that fuel their determination to the unexpected twists of fate that threaten to unravel the very fabric of their existence. This narrative is not one of fiction or fantasy, but a reflection of the poignant and sometimes heartbreaking experiences faced by countless individuals in our world. It is a story that seeks to capture the essence of the human spirit, as it grapples with adversity and strives to find hope in the midst of despair. Through a tapestry of daily life English vocabulary, the Mitchells' journey is a testament to the resilience of ordinary people in the face of extraordinary challenges.
Chapter 1: The Struggles Begin. In the heart of Metropolis, a city that pulsated with ambition and opportunity, the Mitchell family's journey began with unassuming hope. Henry Mitchell was a man of unwavering dedication, whose life was inextricably tied to the laborious world of construction. Every day, he would rise with the dawn, don his work-worn attire, and set out to build the city's dreams, brick by brick. The construction site was his second home, where the clanging of hammers and the roar of heavy machinery provided the soundtrack to his daily toil. It was on these scaffolds and among the concrete pillars that Henry, with his fellow laborers, built the towering edifices that reached for the sky. These structures, which pierced the heavens, stood as stark reminders of the city's progress, but for Henry, they were the embodiment of his dreams. The sun beat down mercilessly on the workers, their brows lined with sweat, as they labored under its relentless gaze. Yet, for Henry, the sight of his fellow workers, men and women alike, laboring alongside him was a testament to their collective determination. They were individuals bound by common purpose to earn their livelihood and secure a better future for their loved ones. Amid the cacophony of construction, there was a quiet heroism that went unnoticed. Every day, Henry would return home, dust-covered and bone-tired, to his wife, Maria, who waited with open arms and a loving smile. She had become an expert at stretching their modest earnings, ensuring that the bills were paid, and there was food on the table. Her daily life English vocabulary was filled with the words of thrift, budgeting, and resourcefulness. Their daughter, Emily, was the light of their lives. Her laughter and innocence brought a glimmer of hope into their modest home. Henry and Maria were determined to give her the best they could afford, even if it meant going without certain luxuries themselves. Emily's education was their paramount concern, as they believed that it held the key to breaking free from the cycle of labor and achieving a more prosperous future. Yet, as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into years, the relentless grind of their daily existence took its toll. The cost of living continued to rise, and the gap between their aspirations and their reality seemed to widen. The Mitchells' vocabulary now included not only words of hope and aspiration, but also the harsh terms of financial struggle, unfulfilled dreams, and the looming specter of adversity. The quiet life of a laborer was fraught with unseen challenges, and the city's indifference to their struggle became increasingly apparent. In the heart of Metropolis, amidst the towering skyscrapers they had helped build, the Mitchells embarked on a journey that would test the limits of their resilience and the depth of their love for each other. As their story unfolds, we will witness how they grapple with unforeseen adversity and how the unbreakable bonds of family will be put to the ultimate test. In the unforgiving landscape of the city, the Mitchells were about to confront a new reality, one that would set the stage for a tragic twist of fate that would change the course of their lives forever.
Life in Metropolis was a relentless grind. The cost of living was an insurmountable obstacle that seemed to defy their every effort to overcome it. In this sprawling urban landscape, the Mitchells, like countless others, found themselves in a constant battle against the rising tide of expenses. Their modest income, earned through Henry's back-breaking work and Maria's careful budgeting, was barely sufficient to cover the essentials. Paycheck to paycheck, they navigated a financial tightrope, where even the slightest misstep could send them plummeting into a chasm of debt. Their daily life English vocabulary became a ledger of calculations, with every dollar meticulously allocated to the essentials: rent, groceries, utilities, and the ever-accumulating stack of bills. Henry and Maria's dreams of a brighter future for their family were weighed down by the oppressive cost of living. The city demanded a relentless toll, leaving them with little room for extravagance or leisure. While others in Metropolis reveled in the glitz and glamour of the city's offerings, the Mitchells knew that their aspirations lay in the simple comforts of a stable home and a good education for Emily. Education was the cornerstone of their hopes. Emily, a bright and eager young girl, held within her the promise of a better future. Her parents,
who had sacrificed their own dreams to give her a chance at a brighter path, constantly fretted about her education. They knew that access to quality schooling was a ticket out of the cycle of struggle and sacrifice. Yet, the cost of tuition and books was a persistent, looming worry that cast a shadow over their daily lives. They tirelessly searched for scholarships, financial aid, and any opportunity that would make Emily's dreams of higher education a reality. Their vocabulary expanded to include terms like FAFSA, grants, and college savings plans, as they sought out every avenue to secure her future. The relentless grind of Metropolis took its toll on their physical and emotional well-being. Stress, fatigue, and anxiety were daily companions, etching lines of worry on their faces. But in their hearts, they held on to a hope that one day, their sacrifices would pay off, and Emily would have the opportunities they never had. As the Mitchells clung to their dreams and each other, they would soon face a cruel twist of fate that would challenge the limits of their endurance. The struggles they had faced up to this point were merely a prelude to the trials that awaited them in the chapters ahead.
Chapter 2: The Unforeseen Crisis. In the city of Metropolis, where dreams were often met with trials and tribulations, the Mitchells faced an unforeseen crisis that would reshape the course of their lives. The fateful day arrived like any other, with the sun casting a golden glow over the city's skyscrapers, but it would soon be marred by a tragedy that they could never have anticipated. Henry had embarked on his daily routine at the construction site, the rhythm of work seeming almost comforting in its familiarity. Little did he know that the scaffold he was working on would become the stage for a cruel twist of fate. In an instant, the scaffold gave way, sending Henry plummeting to the ground below. The scene that unfolded was one of chaos and fear. Co-workers rushed to his side, and an ambulance was called. Maria, who had been at home when the accident occurred, received a frantic phone call that would forever alter her life. She rushed to the hospital, her heart heavy with dread, and found her husband unconscious, surrounded by beeping machines and concerned medical professionals. The doctor's words pierced through the hospital room's sterile air, delivering a harsh verdict. Henry had suffered critical injuries, and his chances of ever walking again were uncertain. The Mitchell family, whose world had already been marked by the ceaseless struggles of daily life, was now thrust into a new and daunting reality. The medical bills began to pile up, and the precarious financial balance they had maintained was shattered. The family's vocabulary was now filled with medical jargon, physical therapy regimens, and the ever-present anxiety of an uncertain future. Maria's hours at work had to be reduced to care for Henry, which further strained their already fragile finances. As the days turned into weeks, Henry faced a grueling journey of rehabilitation, marked by excruciating pain and emotional turmoil. He was determined to regain his mobility, not only for himself but for the family who depended on him. His unwavering spirit and determination served as a source of inspiration for Maria and Emily, who stood by his side through every agonizing step of his recovery. The unforeseen crisis had reshaped their lives, casting a shadow of uncertainty and fear over their once hopeful existence. Yet, in the face of adversity,
the Mitchells would soon discover the indomitable strength of their bonds and the depth of their love for one another. The chapters that followed would be a testament to their resilience and the unyielding spirit of a family united in the face of life's cruelest trials.
Devastated by the news of Henry's severe injuries and the grim prognosis for his mobility, Maria found herself plunged into a sea of uncertainty. Their lives, which had already been marked by relentless struggle, were about to take a devastating turn that would test the very core of their family. With Henry's ability to work suspended indefinitely, the foundation of their financial stability crumbled. His status as the family's primary breadwinner had provided them with a lifeline in the face of Metropolis' ever-mounting living costs, but now, that lifeline was severed, and the Mitchell family was left adrift in a sea of uncertainty. As Henry lay in the hospital, Maria grappled with the daunting reality that her husband's condition meant that their sole source of income had disappeared. The weight of this realization pressed down on her shoulders, threatening to crush her spirit. She had always been a beacon of strength for her family, the one who managed their modest finances with unwavering resolve. But now, she was confronted with the harsh reality that no amount of budgeting or thriftiness could compensate for the loss of Henry's earnings. Medical bills began to arrive, each one carrying a staggering price tag that felt more like an anchor, dragging them deeper into a pit of debt. The once modest savings they had managed to accumulate were quickly exhausted, and the prospect of bankruptcy loomed like a specter in the background. In their daily lives, words like hospital bills, co-pays, and medical debt became stark reminders of the heavy financial burden that the accident had placed upon them. The stress of managing their financial crisis was compounded by the emotional strain of Henry's slow and painful recovery. Maria became the sole caretaker of their home and her ailing husband, bearing the weight of their uncertain future. Emily, who had witnessed her parents' dedication and sacrifice, stepped up to help with chores and provide emotional support to her father. The Mitchells were on the precipice of a life-altering ordeal, a struggle that tested not only their financial resources but also their emotional fortitude. The chapters that lay ahead would be fraught with difficult decisions, sacrifices, and the unshakable love that bound this family in the face of adversity. In their journey through these turbulent waters, they would discover the true meaning of resilience and the extraordinary power of the human spirit.
Chapter 3: A Struggle to Survive. As the Mitchells ventured deeper into the uncharted territory of their new reality, they were confronted by the formidable challenges that lay before them. With Henry unable to work, Maria took on the Herculean task of sustaining the family's fragile financial foundation. Her determination to keep the family afloat was a testament to the resilience born from love and necessity. Maria embarked on the grueling endeavor of juggling two jobs. By day, she served as a waitress in a bustling diner, carrying trays loaded with steaming plates of food, while by night, she assumed the role of a janitor, tirelessly sweeping floors and emptying trash in a dimly lit office building. Her daily life English vocabulary transformed to include terms like double shift, overtime, and exhaustion. The strain of her double life began to take a visible toll on Maria. Fatigue etched lines on her face, and her once radiant smile had grown weary. Yet, she remained steadfast in her pursuit of a better future for her family. She saw herself not as a victim of circumstance but as a protector, willing to make any sacrifice necessary to ensure that her husband and daughter had the chance they deserved. Emily, who was only 8 years old when the accident occurred, took on responsibilities far beyond her years. Her childhood was marked by a premature understanding of the harsh realities of life. She became the third pillar of their family's support system, taking on household chores and providing emotional comfort to her ailing father. The transformation of her daily life English vocabulary was not of schoolyard games and youthful exuberance but of caregiving, empathy, and determination. The Mitchells' home became a battleground where financial constraints and emotional turmoil collided. Their world had become one of relentless schedules, scarce family time, and a constant worry that they were on the precipice of financial ruin. The faint flicker of hope that they clung to was Emily's future, and they were determined that her education would not be compromised. Emily, the embodiment of her parents' dreams, absorbed the lessons of resilience, sacrifice, and the unyielding commitment to family. While her peers spent their afternoons playing and studying, Emily's time was divided between school, her part-time job, and caring for her father. The harsh vocabulary of their daily existence was a stark reminder that life had dealt them an unfair hand. Yet, despite the overwhelming challenges that seemed insurmountable, the Mitchells were bound by an unshakable love that grew stronger with every obstacle they faced. As they traversed the stormy seas of their new reality, they did so with the unwavering conviction that together, they would weather the harshest of storms. The pages of their story would soon reveal the depths of their determination and the sacrifices they were willing to make for one another.
The family's daily life vocabulary had undergone a profound transformation since the accident that left Henry injured. Words like diagnosis, rehabilitation, and pain management had become an integral part of their conversations. Medical jargon now infiltrated their lives as they navigated the intricate web of healthcare and treatment. Physical therapy exercises became a daily ritual for Henry, each movement a testament to his determination to regain his mobility. Maria, armed with brochures and instructional videos, guided him through the grueling exercises, serving as both his caregiver and his physical therapist. Their living room had become a makeshift rehabilitation center, strewn with resistance bands and exercise mats. Hospital visits punctuated their weeks, each appointment a nerve-wracking journey into the world of specialists and physicians. The hum of the waiting room, the sterile scent of the hospital corridors, and the sound of the electronic beeping of monitoring machines had become the backdrop to their lives. The family's daily life English was now filled with terms like consultation, X-rays, and follow-up appointments. As they traversed this unfamiliar terrain, the burden of their new reality grew increasingly heavy. The emotional toll was evident in their tired eyes and hushed conversations. The weight of worry pressed down on their shoulders, and it was Emily who often bore the brunt of her parents' fears, her own childhood sacrificed at the altar of their struggles. Maria, in particular, grappled with a sense of guilt for not being able to provide her family with a more stable life. Her sleepless nights were filled with thoughts of their precarious financial situation, the mounting medical bills, and the constant fear that they were on the verge of losing everything they had worked so hard to build. Henry, once a pillar of strength, now grappled with frustration and a sense of helplessness as he faced the limitations of his once able body. The physical and emotional challenges of rehabilitation tested his resolve, but he remained determined to walk again, not just for himself but for the family who had shown unwavering support. Emily, wise beyond her years, took on the role of the family's emotional anchor. Her heart was heavy with the burden of her parents' worries, but she bore it with a grace that belied her age. She held fast to the dream of a better future, understanding that her own sacrifices were essential to achieving it. Their daily existence had been irrevocably altered by the accident and its aftermath. The medical complexities, the emotional strain, and the persistent specter of uncertainty had become their constant companions. Yet, amidst the trials of their new reality, the Mitchells clung to the love that bound them, their collective strength a testament to the enduring power of family in the face of life's most daunting challenges. The chapters that lay ahead would continue to test the limits of their endurance and the depths of their devotion to one another.
Chapter 4: The Breaking Point. As the Mitchells' journey through adversity continued, they found themselves teetering on the edge of what felt like an insurmountable precipice. The relentless burdens of their new reality, compounded by the strain of medical bills and the emotional toll of Henry's slow recovery, began to take a heavy toll on their lives. Each day seemed to blur into the next as Maria worked tirelessly to maintain the family's precarious financial stability. The wear and tear of her dual jobs left her physically exhausted and emotionally drained. Her days were a relentless cycle of service in the diner, followed by solitary hours spent as a janitor in the quiet stillness of the office building. Her daily life English was now punctuated by words like burnout, overwhelmed, and desperation. Henry, while showing signs of improvement in his mobility, was still far from the strong and able-bodied man he had once been. The physical pain and frustration of his slow recovery became a constant presence in his life. He found himself yearning to return to the construction site, not just for the sake of financial stability but for the sense of purpose and identity it provided. The weight of his perceived helplessness pressed upon him like a suffocating shroud. Emily, despite her youth, had grown into a steadfast pillar of support for her family. She juggled her schoolwork, her part-time job, and her caregiving duties with a level of maturity that belied her age. Her vocabulary had expanded to include terms like responsibility, sacrifice, and strength. But even the strongest of bonds can be strained to their limits. One evening, when Emily returned home from school to an empty house, she found a note on the kitchen table. It was from her mother, Maria, who had made the heart-wrenching decision to leave in search of a better life for her family. The note expressed Maria's deep love for her husband and daughter, but also her realization that she could no longer bear the weight of their financial struggles and the relentless demands of caregiving. She saw leaving as the only option, a desperate move to find a better job and financial stability that would ultimately benefit her family. Emily was left in a state of shock and grief, torn between her love for her mother and the overwhelming responsibility of caring for her father on her own. The family, already pushed to their limits, had reached a breaking point. The chapters that followed would be marked by a profound sense of loss, abandonment, and the relentless quest for resilience in the face of life's harshest blows. In their struggle to navigate this new and devastating reality, the Mitchells would confront the raw depths of their emotions, grapple with choices that seemed impossible, and ultimately discover the enduring power of love and the unbreakable bonds of family, even in the darkest of hours. One evening, as the sun dipped below the city's towering skyline and darkness settled over the Mitchell household, Emily returned home from school, a heavy backpack slung over her shoulders. She entered the familiar yet eerily quiet home, a place once filled with the warmth of family but now marked by a conspicuous absence. In the dimly lit kitchen, she noticed a piece of paper on the table, its edges slightly crumpled. As she picked it up, her heart began to race, and a sense of foreboding washed over her. It was a note, penned in her mother's familiar handwriting, yet its words bore the weight of a heartbreaking decision. The note conveyed Maria's deep love for her husband and daughter, but it also revealed her anguished realization that the burden of their relentless financial struggles and the demands of caregiving had become too much for her to bear. She saw her departure as the only option, a desperate move to find a better job and financial stability that could ultimately benefit her family. Tears welled up in Emily's eyes as she read her mother's words. The conflicting emotions of love and abandonment waged a battle within her. She understood the desperation that had driven her mother to leave, but she was also filled with a profound sense of loss and heartbreak. The void that Maria's absence left in their lives seemed insurmountable. As the reality of her mother's departure set in, Emily felt an overwhelming weight descend upon her young shoulders. She was now left to care for her father, who was still on the arduous road to recovery. The daily life she had known, already fraught with challenges and sacrifice, had been upended in the most unexpected and devastating way. The newfound responsibilities weighed heavily on Emily. She became not only her father's caregiver, but also his emotional support, a role she had taken on with unwavering dedication. Her vocabulary, once filled with the dreams of an ordinary childhood, was now shaped by terms like responsibility, independence, and strength beyond her years. In the midst of her heartache, Emily remained determined to honor her mother's sacrifice by ensuring her father's well-being. She was a young girl facing a harsh and adult world, her once idealized image of family life replaced by the stark reality of life's unpredictability. The chapters that followed in the Mitchell family's story would be marked by the relentless resilience of a young girl who had been thrust into a role far beyond her years. As she faced the complexities of caregiving, the depths of her love and commitment to her family would shine brightly even in the darkest of circumstances.
Chapter 5: A Shattered Dream. As Emily settled into her new role as both a student and the primary caregiver for her ailing father, the realization of the shattered dream her family had once held became increasingly evident. The future they had envisioned, one filled with hope and financial stability, was now a distant memory, replaced by the harsh reality of their daily struggle. The small apartment that had once been a place of warmth and comfort was now a solemn backdrop to their changed lives. Its walls, which had witnessed the joys and dreams of the Mitchell family, now bore witness to the weight of their responsibilities and the echoes of unspoken heartache. Henry's slow but steady progress in his physical therapy was a testament to his unwavering determination, but it was also a constant reminder of the accident that had altered their lives irreversibly. He still relied on a cane for support, and the prospect of returning to the construction site was a distant dream. His once strong spirit had been tested to the limits, and the frustration of his limited mobility often manifested in moments of silence and contemplation. The vocabulary of their daily life had not shifted dramatically, but the tone of their conversations had. Words like hope, perseverance, and family now took on a more profound significance, symbolizing the enduring strength of their bonds and their shared commitment to navigate the hardships that life had thrown their way. Emily, though just a young girl, had embraced her role with a level of maturity that was nothing short of remarkable. Her days were a whirlwind of school, part-time work, and the ceaseless responsibilities of caring for her father. The guilt and sorrow of her mother's absence never truly faded, but she channeled those emotions into the unwavering support and love she provided to her father. Despite their diminished circumstances, the Mitchells found solace in the enduring connections that bound them together. They leaned on each other, as they had always done, but now their unity held a deeper, more profound significance. The shattered dream of prosperity and comfort remained a poignant reminder of the unpredictability of life. Yet, as they confronted the realities of their existence, the Mitchells discovered a new dream, one forged in the crucible of adversity. Their dream was one of resilience, love, and the unyielding commitment of a family to one another, even in the face of life's harshest trials. In the chapters that followed, the Mitchells' journey would continue to unfold, a testament to the indomitable spirit of ordinary people facing extraordinary challenges. The story of their lives was one of sacrifice, strength, and the enduring power of love, demonstrating that even in the midst of shattered dreams, the human spirit has the capacity to rebuild and endure.
The family story was an embodiment of the very essence of tragedy, sacrifice, and the unwavering love that can transcend the boundaries of hardship. Life, with its relentless tests and trials, had brought the Mitchells to the brink of despair, a precipice from which they stared into the abyss of adversity. Yet, it was in this crucible of hardship that they discovered the unyielding strength of the human spirit. Their journey, marked by relentless struggles, had not been one of glitz and glamour, but rather of enduring commitment. The Mitchells were not the protagonists of a glamorous tale, but they were the heroes of their own lives, determined to overcome the adversities life had thrown at them. The sacrifice made by Emily, a young girl forced to bear the burdens of adulthood, was a testament to her unwavering love for her parents. Her commitment to their well-being transcended her age, and she became a source of strength and support for her ailing father. Through their story, it became evident that the human spirit had an extraordinary capacity to endure, to adapt, and to find hope even in the bleakest of circumstances. The Mitchells had discovered that adversity, while unrelenting and unforgiving, had the power to reveal the depths of their resilience and the unwavering bonds that held them together. Their experience illustrated that, even when dreams were shattered, the love of family and the unbreakable human spirit could guide individuals through the darkest of times. The Mitchells, ordinary people navigating life's complexities, became extraordinary in their ability to confront life's harshest tests with grace, determination, and an enduring love that remained undiminished, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. Their story, while filled with moments of despair and heartache, was ultimately a testament to the extraordinary strength that ordinary individuals can summon when they are bound by love and a shared commitment to endure, no matter the odds.
While their dreams of prosperity had eluded them, the Mitchells had discovered an unexpected source of solace and strength within the bonds that held their family together. Their daily life vocabulary, once filled with hopes and aspirations for a brighter future, now revolved around the stark realities they faced. But it was in these shared experiences and enduring connections that they found a different kind of wealth, the wealth of love, resilience, and unwavering commitment. The Mitchells, though not living in opulence, had built a life defined by their determination to face adversity head-on. Their story was a testament to the incredible capacity of the human spirit to endure and adapt in the face of life's cruelest tragedies. It was in their unity, the love that flowed between them, and the collective strength that arose from their shared struggles that they found solace and meaning. In the midst of their hardship, they leaned on one another, fostering an unbreakable support system. Emily, whose youthful shoulders bore the weight of immense responsibility, continued to show her unwavering love and dedication to her family. Their story was a reminder that life's greatest treasures are often intangible. The Mitchells had discovered that while material wealth may be elusive, the wealth of a loving family was immeasurable. In their undying commitment to one another, they had found a source of sustenance that was more precious than any riches. The Mitchells' journey was a narrative of survival, love, and the extraordinary strength that arises when family members are bound by shared experiences and the common goal of preserving the precious ties that connect them. Their story was a testament to the enduring power of family, demonstrating that even in the face of life's cruelest tragedies, the bonds of love could provide a foundation strong enough to withstand the most relentless storms.